Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining us today. This is Matt Canizaro alongside Aaron Smith here at the 2013 USBC Open Championships. We're tuning in today to see 2007 regular all events champion Mike Rose Jr. and his talented team, which includes Scott Pohl, former Team USA member who shot 300 last night in the team event, as well as Adam Barta, Rob Gotchall, who has two 300s here at the Open Championships, and of course, PBA standout Brian Wallachek. So we'll have all that and more in just a few minutes. They're marching out now, and we'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are just minutes away here from today's doubles and singles competition. Practice is now over. And the high fives and congratulations and good lucks are about to begin. And then it's showtime, time for business. Scott Pohl, Adam Barta, Robert Wiley, Mike Rose Jr., Rob Gotchall, and Brian Wallachek. All familiar names. And we're about to get underway here at the 2013 USBC Open Championships. Matt Cannizzaro and Aaron Smith behind lanes 17 and 18 here at the National Bowling Stadium. We appreciate everybody joining us. It should be an exciting day today. All these players very talented and accomplished, both here at the Open Championships and elsewhere. So we're looking forward to 6 exciting games here today. Looks like our 2007 USBC Open Championships regular all events winner, Mike Rose Jr. is going to be the first to step up on the right lane. And Scott Pohl, who shot 300 last night in the team event, will be stepping up on the left. Aaron Smith, long couple days. How are things going?
Beautiful morning here in Reno. I guess we're the only ones still in the morning. Everyone else is already crossed over to afternoon, but we're excited to bring some great bowling action here to you live today on Bowl TV. Very exciting night last night during our 7 p.m. team squad here. Kicked off today with Matt Smith out of Altoona, Iowa. They started off with a 299 game. Matt had a 300 at the 2012 event in Baton Rouge last year. So he was looking to become just one of 27 bowlers in tournament history to have 2 career 300s on the lanes. One of those we're watching just struck on 18, Robert Gotchall. After Matt's run at perfection, game number 2 saw Scott Pohl, who's cleaning up the 9-pin on 17, throw the 10th 300 game of the 2013 event. And to finish it off, Blaine Weninger, who bowled earlier this morning out of Clackamas, Oregon, originally out of Grapevine, Texas for a while there. Tossed the 11th 300, so it was a very exciting squad. A lot of striking going on. Hopefully we get to see more of that today.
All right, so there's your rundown of the excitement happening here. Of course, just a couple days ago, we saw Team USA member John Zerbinski raise the bar here in singles and all events. But right now, it's all about the doubles action. Today's pairings, Scott Pohl and Mike Rose Jr., Adam Barta and Rob Gotchall, and Robert Wiley and Brian Wallachek. You can see that all color-coded on your scoreboard there in the top right side of your screen. We do have the correct scoreboard today, so we're already ahead of last time. So these guys just loaded with accomplishments, and we'll talk about those as the day progresses for sure. So the number they're chasing right now is 1403. We've had a lot of close calls in the last couple of days, and couple of weeks even. Just 2 days ago also, Rick Steelsmith and Paul Fleming, both familiar names, both from the PBA and back in collegiate bowling back in the 80s. They gave it a run, fell short in game number 3, and ended up with 1350 something. So this year's doubles and singles lane condition, I know that's a little bit unusual to say that, but this year we do have 2 lane conditions at the Open Championships. We have a 41-foot pattern for the team event. That's what these guys bowled on last night. And then a 39-foot pattern, very similar to last year, here for doubles and singles. And of course, the great big feature in 2013, fresh oil for every squad. So, of course, we had to adjust the schedule a little bit to make all that work. We've gone from 5 doubles and single squads down to 3. And those times are at 7 a.m., 11 a.m., and 10:30 p.m. with team events at 3 and 7 back-to-back. Now, another great feature here in 2013. So we slowed the pace of play a little bit, Aaron, and now we'll have 6 on a pair instead of 4. And these guys will bowl all 6 games on 1 pair of lanes, which gives them the opportunity to work together to break the lanes down, and gives us the opportunity to settle in and sit still, with not having to move the whole setup from one event to the other. But all the changes very well received here in 2013. Great spare by Mike Rose. Got the hard half on the first shot, cleaned up the rest on the second shot.
So with those changes you talked about, we'll see approximately 3.5 hours worth of bowling action today. And yes, the changes have been well received. Squads have been running on time. I know I was here late last night, and we're still finishing up on time. The 10:30 squad got off right when it was supposed to. People were bowling for score at their scheduled time, so.
That's right, big thing to note there. The squad time that you have, that is your bowl for score time. That's the goal here, of course. To at least have practice going underway at that time, so be ready. Keep in mind, scale room opens 2 hours before the team event, and the squad room will be open 90 minutes before doubles and singles. So take your time, get in the building, get your brackets, get your photos, relax a little bit. Perhaps get on the stub lane for doubles and singles, get loose, get you a souvenir picture, and be ready to go. Pretty basic strategy for a lot of our teams coming in here for doubles and singles, because it is a fresh condition and because you do have 6 guys with the opportunity to work together. We see most teams play the lanes together with a little bit of surface towards the outside part of the lane. The idea there is to break down that oil a little bit. And of course, you're thinking big picture. You're going to spend 6 games on this pair of lanes, so you want to break down the shot to your liking. And teams able to work together, play together, communicate. And you see they're all in the same general area, around 5, 6, 7-ish. And of course, you don't want to give away too much and lose the pocket at any point early. But the goal, of course, is to create some room to the right, so that as the day progresses, you're able to creep left, and you have some miss to the right, some hold to the left. See how things develop.
And we saw that. Guys. We saw that in practice from them. Everybody staying about as far right as they could, and definitely had some surface out there to start. Seems like they've made a few changes since practice has finished up here, but we'll see where this strategy leads them to today. That's always been the defining factor for teams this year, especially looking big picture at team all events, is kind of tackling the doubles and getting yourself in a good position to create ball reaction for once you get into singles later on, and see what these guys can do.
Well, Aaron, these guys have been in town for a few days now, and they've certainly taken advantage of the opportunities here at the National Bowling Stadium this year. Namely, they spent some time right next door there at the Storm Bowlers Journal Championships. And this year, for those of you who are unfamiliar or just joining us, the 78-lane National Bowling Stadium has been split up a little bit here in 2013. So we'll be using lanes 1 through 64 for the USBC Open Championships, and lanes 69 through 78 for the Bowlers Journal Championships. And another benefit to that, of course, besides being on site, so you can do everything in one building, is the Bowlers Journal features the doubles and singles lane condition. So if you want to get a look at the pattern and get some practice in and potentially win a little extra prize money, you can go bowl in the Bowlers Journal Championships at any point during the day from 11 a.m. Pretty much till the end of business for the day, which at this point in the year is going to be late at night. But we'll have some new schedule information and some details for the Bowlers Journal coming up here in a couple of days. But for now, it's there, it's available, and these guys certainly took advantage of it. Rob Gotchall who is up on the left lane right now, he really took advantage of it. He went out there and he rolled the second perfect game at the event this year, and he was entered in the high game jackpot. So now he is the lone bowler atop the high game standings. His 300 helped him to a 750 series or so. So also right up there in the singles. So a nice chance for him to get a look at the pattern. Now he's going to take home some prize money no matter what. And of course, this is the very same pattern, so we'll see what he's got for us today. So far, 3 strikes and 4 frames, so he's looking like he feels pretty good, and he should. He's very comfortable in this building. Shot 300 here a couple of years back, his second one. So he is on that short list Aaron talked about earlier of bowlers who have multiple 300 games at the Open Championships.
Yeah, speaking of the Bowlers Journal, talking to these guys last night, they were all over the standings for doubles as well, so they're very comfortable in their time here so far, and they're easy going last night, felt loose after bowling. They ended up putting up a 33-61 team score, which put them in 9th overall. Obviously leading 35-38, Lodge Lanes 2 out of Orlando, Florida, a Open Championships team record.
Aaron, we've seen a lot of great scores so far this year, especially in the team event and team all events as well. Some big numbers. And I think that's due in part again to the new format. Double scores down a little bit. Of course, for the first time, fresh oil for every squad, so you have the chance to come out and you have to attack the lanes in a way that's going to benefit you for 6 games. And so we see double scores on the fresh oil a little bit lower, but then some big single scores as well as far as groups being able to put together numbers. We saw the backhaul direct team just a couple days ago moved into 3rd place in team all events. They shot 10,000, but 2 of their guys shot 750 in singles and 2,100 plus for all events. So, we haven't seen the big 800 series. We haven't seen any for the year. Our highest single set, 789. So consistent scores for sure, and teams being able to all put up pretty solid numbers, and a few 10,000s on the board this year. But doubles is the one everybody's wondering. 1403 currently on top. Is that enough? I don't think so. But as we see a lot of great bowlers come in with a chance at it and falling short. But still a long way to go. This event kicked off on March 1st. And we'll be here all the way until July 7th. That's 125 days of competition and very talented teams all the way until the end. The last 2 days of the tournament even will feature Del Ballard Jr., Jason Milligan, and Team USA member Steve Smith. So it will be a battle to the very end here at the National Bowling Stadium. Looking forward to all of that and much more. Of course, Aaron Smith, the USBC Women's Championships right across town, just 3.5 miles away in the same city. For the very first time, both events. It is a great opportunity for our women bowlers to come visit us as well. They can come and bowl the Women's Championships, stop by the Open Championships, and get their 9 games in as well. And of course, plenty of other side events and opportunities. We'll get into all that and more over the next couple of hours. Right now, up on lane 18, Gotchall looking for 3 in a row, and these guys already starting to pile on some strikes early.
Does seem as if their game plan is working here on the early going. A lot of strikes up there, so.
Well, these guys make it a little bit easier to try to guess their equipment. They have their ball companies plastered across their shirts. There's Mike Rose Jr. sporting the new Storm jersey. That's a new development for that guy. And we saw Gotchall wearing a Storm shirt as well. He is throwing the sink. That one is very recognizable. And I believe, well, I don't want to believe. I'll do a little research here instead. How about that? and Aaron Smith a better vantage point as well. So we'll learn what we can about what these guys are throwing. I can guarantee you they are throwing great shots.
Right here, looks like Mike Rose picked up a roto grip disturb. We saw that ball a lot in one of our previous live streams. Bill Webb on his way to his 780 setting team used the disturb for all 3 games to help Cambridge won to a 34-20 team score. Seems to be rolling all right here.
Well, everybody with at least a double so far, and Scott Pohl now up after that open frame, and frame number 2, working on 3 in a row, trying to make it 4. He looks awfully comfortable here as well. Scott from the On Track Pro Shop, Minnesota guys. Pohl and Mike Rose communicating a little bit. Pohl again shot 300 last night in the team event. Former Team USA member, a world champion in 2006, ended a huge drought. I believe it was 35 years between world championships for the Team USA men.
7-pin stands there. Matt, I must say, out of all of our live streams so far this year, I don't think we've seen anyone come out of the gates this strong in doubles and singles to this point.
Well, certainly a lot of strikes early, but a long way to go. It's a marathon, as we know. But these guys are obviously on our schedule because they are accomplished and talented, and they can throw shots like that. Mike Rose with the big strike for 4 in a row on lane 18. So I have no doubt these guys will entertain us, and we've had very good luck so far this year with our live stream broadcast. So I'm very confident that these guys will give us something to watch, and if not, down on the other side of the house, some very talented bowlers as well. Jerry Casebolt, Kevin Mitchell, among others. Matt Smith, you mentioned earlier, shot 299 last night in the team event. And, he's down there trying to continue his success here at the National Bowling Stadium and at the Open Championships, so we'll keep our eyes peeled on them as well.
Yeah, from what I can see, I believe Matt's bowling on lane 40 today. It looks like he started off with the first 5 before a 9 spare, so we'll see if he can keep that going. Matt definitely had a chance at 800 last night after his 299. He followed up with 269 before unfortunately running into some transition in the middle of the third game. I know he had a Greek church in about the 5th or 6th frame. And then from there, he, trying to get back in line with the pocket, said his carry kind of went away the further in he got. Finished with a 184 for a very nice 752 series, which is a fantastic start towards bigger and better things. That is the second 710 for Mike Rose on 17. Just two rough breaks there here in the early going.
Aaron Smith, we do appreciate everybody joining us today. Once again, we are live behind lanes 17 and 18 here at the National Bowling Stadium, 2013 USBC Open Championships. Very talented group here, and we do appreciate everybody tuning in. So did they. They promised me they would put on a show today, and there's a lot of strikes on the board so far. Right now you're watching the first game of doubles here for these guys. They had a solid night last night. I believe the number was 33-61, if I'm not mistaken, led by Scott Pohl and his 300 game. Doubles pairings today, Pohl and Mike Rose Jr., Adam Barta, Rob Gotchall, Robert Wiley, and Brian Wallachek. And right now it's Barta and Gotchall just striking away. The number they're chasing, 1403, a tie for the top spot in regular doubles. And if they keep this up, they're going to have their names up there all alone.
Certainly off to a hot start. Speaking of the 33-61 from last night, Scott Pohl did lead the way with a 300 and 749 series. He was followed by Brian Wallachek with 679, Robert Gotchall 661, Adam Barta 638, and Mike Rose Jr. 634. So a very solid team effort to kick off their 2013 event, and we're just seeing a lot of strikes right now.
guys certainly have thrown their share of strikes in their careers. All right, so Barta's run comes to an end at 4 in a row. Leaves the old 2-7. Gotchall working on 6 in a row. He struck in 7 of 8 frames. Already very comfortable on this lane condition. He shot 307.50 at the Bowlers Journal Championships a couple days ago. That is the same pattern that we're using over here. So he leaves a 4-pin at that. So Barta with his spare. Gotchall's going to step up and shoot at the 4-pin. Barta and Hugh Miller, 8th in regular doubles last year with 14.29. 14.29 today with Gotchall will get them the lead. 14.03, the number they're chasing. So they keep on throwing shots like that, like we've already said. They're well on their way, but still a long way to go. This is just game 1 of 3. Thanks to everybody for being here, and thanks for being in the chat room. For those of you in there, let's keep the talk about bowling if we can. These guys certainly have a lot of accomplishments to talk about, and we're here to answer questions as well. here's Gotchall stepping up on the left lane. He had a 300 in the team event in 2002, 300 again in singles in 2010. One of 24 or so players with 2 perfect games at the Open Championships. He added another this week at the Bowlers Journal Championship, so he'll cash in on that, and has to be awfully comfortable and confident coming over here for doubles and singles. He's certainly throwing the ball like he is. Possible 259 out there. Sparta with back-to-back 8 counts. Spare here puts him in the 220s. Gotchall was 661 in the team event last night. Sparta with 638. Sparta 226, Gotchall 259. Off to a fantastic start here in game number 1, plus 85. Nearly halfway there in one game. Scott Pohl opens in the 10th for 208. Mike Rose also opens for 186 and a 394 total. Wiley, a 21-time participant here at the Open Championships, finishes with 180. And his partner, Brian Wallachek. Pretty solid resume, 7th in all events last year. He's a PBA regional standout, formerly exempt on the PBA Tour. Collegiate Bowling Rookie of the Year in 1997, All-American at Saginaw Valley State University. National champion there as well in 1997. Player of the Year in 99. His brother, PBA champion Lonnie Wallachek. And their father, just found this out the other day, the founder of the Wichita State bowling program. So, very talented bowling family, and we're seeing that here today as well. Brian in the 220s here in game number 1. And I mentioned he was a standout at Saginaw Valley State. That was almost the school I ended up going to. We could have been teammates, but instead I chose the University of Florida and bowled my very first collegiate bowling game next to Brian and his talented teammates. He shot 268 that game. I somehow shot 258 and been chasing these talented guys ever since. So That's why I'm back here behind the cameras and they're out there throwing strikes to entertain all of you folks at home. So game one in the books. These guys starting to migrate left. Great shot there from Rose. And their goal early, clearly, was to break down the outside part of the lane and give them the opportunity to miss to the right or bank it off of that area they dried up earlier and migrate left as the day progresses. And Mike Rose, very good at getting left. Watched him nearly make history in 2008 as the defending all events champion. He battled a very tough lane condition and nearly repeated. He took the lead briefly that year, shot 21.61 with a gutsy 748 in singles. He was probably as far left as you can be, throwing his trusty old Vapor Zone back then. Yeah, managed to 250 the last game, I believe, to squeak into the lead. Ended up finishing third that year. Almost became the first bowler in history to claim back-to-back all events titles, and he's been a contender, as always, ever since 2011 here at the NBS, where he won his title. His winning score in 07, 21.98. Came back in 2011, gave it a run again. Shot 22.06 to finish 7th on a high-scoring lane condition. But now he's throwing the new equipment. Mike Rose, a Storm guy. Looks like he's got some roto grip stuff in his bag as well. And there's some thoughts in the chat room about the sound quality. I do believe it's possible you might have two windows open because everything sounds good on our end. And I have the window open as well here watching YouTube so I can watch the chat room. So check that out. But everything looks okay here. And everything looks okay on the scoreboard for Adam Barta and Rob Gotchall. 485 in game number one. The number they're chasing, 1403. Aaron Smith stepped out temporarily to help with the preparations for Paul Gutsky, who is celebrating 55 years with us later today. We'll have a nice march out and presentation for him. He'll get an engraved watch for 55 years. And some extra recognition here. We had 158 bowlers in our 110-year history compete 50 times or more. We'll have 9 this year and a handful trying to chase down Joe Norris and Bill Dorman, who each competed in 71 tournaments. So folks with all different reasons for coming to this event. Some chasing those special participation records. Currently, you receive a lapel pin at 20 years, a plaque at 25, and every 5 years thereafter. And then you get recognition and a chevron each year in between, as well as recognition in our tournament yearbook and on our participation wall. Had a gentleman stop by earlier to tell me that his son is only 20 and bowling in his 4th Open Championships, and his goal at this point is to reach that 50-year mark. So we do appreciate them and everybody for coming out and seeing us every year. And the update from down yonder, Matt Smith, who shot 299, 752 last night in the team event, started doubles with a 256 game. So we'll keep an eye on him as well. The all events number these guys are chasing, 2228, posted just 2 days ago by Team USA member John Stravinsky. Stravinsky had 777 in the team event, 662 in doubles, and 789 in singles to also take the regular singles lead here. So scores starting to creep up there. We have yet to see our first 800 of the year. Perhaps today's the day. Mike Rose up on the left lane looking for his first strike here in game number 2. He started the day with 186. Like a full house here on the 11 a.m. squad. 1 through 64, rocking and rolling here at the National Bowling Stadium. One of 3 doubles and single squads on the day, 7 a.m., 11 a.m., and 10:30 p.m. Some great incentives coming up in 2014 for those of you who want to take advantage of that, earn a little extra cash back. If you sign up and pay in full for the 2014 event by July 1st, everybody on your team will receive $20 in championships cash that can be used at brackets, side events, or the USBC Sports Store, even Bowling Ball Express. And if you choose to bowl at 10:30 p.m. for doubles and singles, also having to meet that July 1st payment deadline, you'll receive a $55 rebate just for showing up at 10:30. And it's like bowling singles for free. Guaranteed prize check. It's that on top of whatever you earn, of course. You can find out all about that and more on bowl.com. Go to the Open Championships page. There's a register information box. It'll tell you all about the details and link to the specifics about next year's incentive program. And if you're a team coordinator with 8 or more teams, you'll earn yourself a complimentary VIP package as well. All kinds of great components involved with that. Get you a 1 hour lesson on the 900 Global Showcase lanes. VIP polo shirt. Discounts at Bowling Ball Express, the USBC Sports Store, and USBC Photography. You stay at one of the sponsoring tri-property hotels, Eldorado, Silver Legacy, or Circus Circus. You receive $20 food credit, or $25 food credit, $25 drink credit at that hotel as well. So all that for free, even, just for bringing A teams. So check that out. More information about the VIP program, bowl.com/VIP. You have a tie on top of the double standings, 14:03. But Barta and Gotchall trying to claim that all to themselves. 4:85 start, almost halfway there in game number one. See if they can continue striking. Gotchall 259 strikes here in 3 of his first 4 frames. Question in the chat room about the available dates calendar for the 2014 tournament. Well, no need for one of those yet. All of the dates are available. The registration process just began on March 1st, so still plenty of time to get in there and get the dates and times you'd like. And one of the coolest features about the new system is that once you select a date, it will tell you exactly how many spots are available on each squad. So it takes some of the guesswork out. You can pick some different dates and find some different openings. And as the process progresses, of course, we'll get an available dates feature added to that. And don't forget, Women's Championships registration for 2014 opens on May 1st, just a couple days away. So get your teams together. That event going to 4-player teams for the first time in history next year. And an all-new format for the Women's Championships as well. It is going back to scratch competition. We'll have 4 divisions for a team event and 6 divisions for double singles and all events. So you can find out information about that on Pohl.com. Go to the Women's Championships page and get ready to register on May 1st. Pohl mixes him up for a 3-bagger. Pohl with a big night last night. He shot 300 and 749 in the team event, so we got our eye on him for our run at all events as well. But all of these guys capable of putting up a big set anytime. Right now I'm going to check out xbowling.com to see how Matt Smith is doing on the other side of the venue. Matt shot 750 last night with a 299 game. Started today with 256. So we're off to the races. 22-28, the all events lead right now. 789 in singles, 1403 in doubles. Looks like Matt Smith struggling a little bit here in game number 2, as you have to throw a double. I'm watching xbowling.com/tournament right now. Live scores from the Open Championships. You'll never miss a minute of the action. You can also find that on your Android device or Apple iPhone. A free app, xbowling.com Tournament Edition. Live scores, leaderboard, statistics. It'll even tell you what pin you left once you get home and you want to study your performance. All that and more. You can also sign up for the 90 Frame X game and have your shot at $50,000. You just have to strike in the designated frames and you can take home the big prize. Do appreciate everybody joining us. This is Matt Canizaro live from the National Bowling Stadium 2013 USBC Open Championships. We are watching doubles and singles. Very talented group of players here. They shot 33-61 in the team event last night, so we'll keep an eye on them for team all events. And of course, Adam Barta and Rob Gotchall making a run at doubles here. 14:03, the number they're chasing. This is our 39-foot lane condition compared to 41 feet for the team event. This is also the featured pattern. Just a couple hundred yards away at the Storm Bowler Journal Championships. These guys did take advantage of having that event in the same building for the first time. Bowled a couple shifts over there, and it clearly has paid off for Gotchall, who started today with 259 and is on 280 pace here in game number 2. If you are curious about the lane condition, we have the graphs and all the information again on bowl.com. On the Open Championships page, there's a lane conditions box that will give you all kinds of goodies about the lane conditions for the Open Championships, the Bowler's Journal, and our 2 side events downstairs on the 900 Global Showcase lanes. The Who's Got the Look Baker Bonanza and the 900 Global 2-game challenge. So a lot of bowling action happening inside the stadium this year. The potential to bowl 4 different events in one building, and if you're one of our female members, a 5th event right across town, the USBC Women's Championships. So if you're a competitive bowler and you like prize money, this is the place to be for this year and next year. So take advantage of all those opportunities. Come out and get some prize money. Rob Gotchall about to step up on the right lane, trying to claim his share of doubles prize money. Working on the 5-bagger, looking for 6 in a row here. He gets it, so he is well on his way. See if Barta can make a run at the 4-9. Gives it a go. But instead, his second open of game number 2. Still possible 220 out there. These guys 485 in game number 1. All right, so Aaron Smith back in the booth, got his notepad out. He's going to be doing some calculations, doing some homework. No need to calculate that. That's 7 in a row for Gotchall. He is lined up during the storm sink. And possible 280 out there to go with 259. So again, we have yet to see an 800 series at the 2013 Open Championships. A couple of close calls. 794, our highest set. Vern Heidenreiter. 300, 279 to close out his team event. But our highest set in doubles and singles, 789. John Zerbinski, our singles leader. Rob Gotchall on fire here early.
Looks like it. Doesn't look like much has changed since I stepped away. Just I hope everybody's watching what these guys are doing in practice, because this seems to be the whatever their game plan was is certainly working up to this point. Still have a lot of bowling left to go though, so we will certainly see.
Well, and again, we've seen some very good runs through 2 games of doubles. As we mentioned, Rick Steelsmith and Paul Fleming. They were 960 after 2 games. And came up short, ended with 1350. And not too long ago, Tom Milton and Jason Hurd were 985 with 1 game to go, and came up short. They are hanging in the top 10 at this point, I believe. So I don't think Gotchall and Barta are here for a top 10. They want it all.
Tom Milton and Jason Hurd currently do round out the top 10 here in regular doubles. 1356. You mentioned that hot start. They started 506, 479 before concluding with 371.
Well, and I think at this point, there's or at that point late in doubles, there's going to be some transition. A lot of traffic, 6 on a pair this year. And since you don't flip into singles, you stay on the same pair of lanes. There's some strategy involved in trying to break down the lanes in a way that will benefit you for the long haul down in singles. And there's going to be a point where the oil starts to break down and you're going to have to make a move. And it seems like that's game 3.
Yeah, it looks like these guys, just from the time I was away, are a little further to the left already.
Yeah, we see that almost daily where, like we said, 2 strong games, and game 3 a little bit of transition, and then they turn it back on for singles. Same exact thing actually happened to Zerbinski and Jesse Buss and those guys. They struggled a little bit. I say struggled. Zerbinski had 662. Jesse Buss though only had 563 in doubles, and then things fell into place. Obviously, John had 789 to take the singles lead, and Jesse 740-ish. To give it a run as well, just outside the top 10. Scott Pohl back on track here. 208. He is on track. Get that one, Aaron. The On Track Pro Shop, of course. That is what's on the front of his shirt. That's his pro shop back home in Minnesota. But 208, 258 for Pohl to go along with his big 749 set last night in team.
Rob Gotchall gets the first one, the 10th. Looking to complete that 280. Matt, I must admit, this is the first time I've really gotten to watch Robert in person in these past 2 days, and there's just something so effortless about how he bowls. It makes it look much too easy.
Well, Aaron, again, he's on the short list of bowlers with 2 300s here at the Open Championships. And he's in our average list of top 10 for 3, 4, and 5 years here. Storm Stafford won a PBA Regional as an amateur not too long ago, and he's a standout on the Mega Buck circuit as a win at the Mini Eliminator and the Grand Boot Hill. So he knows how to throw the shots on the big stages for sure, and he's proven that here again here in 2013. His career average 210. But listen to this one, Aaron. His last handful of all events: 1988, 2016, 2096, 2086, 2058. It seems like everything fell into place. Pretty solid before that, but everything kind of happened for him, it looks like, in 2008 in Albuquerque, and it's been pretty spectacular ever since. Those are some great numbers, very consistent.
Fantastic numbers.
Each year a different lane condition, all challenging, some more challenging than others. And off to a great start here. Shot 660 last night, and now possible 280 with one more strike here in the 10th frame, and the doubles lead well within reach.
Just want to say hey back home. Thanks for all the texts, Facebook messages, friends and family. Love you guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, that was Scott Pohl stopping in on his way back to the lanes. 208, 258. Just want to say hi to everybody back home. Well, hello to everybody there in Minnesota. Big scores here so far in doubles. Scott Pohl 208, 258. Adam Barta 226, 202. Robert Wiley 180, possible 247 here in game two. Mike Rose Jr. 186, 246. Gotchall, the man of the hour, 259, 280. 967 after two for Gotchall and Barta. So they just need 440 in game number three for the doubles lead. And you're going to see it here live on Pohl TV. Brian Wallachek, 227. He's got 250 out there. So everything's happened just how they hoped, I would imagine. They all started to the right with a little bit of surface and try to break down an area. Now they've bumped left, and they're able to use the area they burned up as either miss room or some bump. Interested to see how things continue to develop here on lane 7 and 18 at the National Bowling Stadium. Mike Rose and Scott Pohl at 898, so they're not too far behind, and a lot of strikes being thrown here. So we saw earlier in the year Team Tilt actually at one point was 1, 2, and 3 in doubles, if I'm not mistaken, or ended that squad 1, 2, and 4, and still in the top 10. Of course, these guys, while they are chasing the doubles number right now, 1403, team all events, has to be in the back of their minds as well. 10,247 is a pretty solid number, but when you throw this many strikes, certainly is within reach. And I think a bunch of our teams that we've seen, make a run at it have struggled a little bit in doubles and really turned it on for singles. And these guys are turning it on early. So they've all been in contention before, of course, every year. We talked about some numbers already. Gotchall, averaging well over 2,000 his last handful of years. Mike Rose Jr., 2007 All Events champ, gave it a run in 2008, finished third, and then shot 2,200 again in 2011. So Aaron's got the notepad out and the fancy calculator, it looks like.
So fancy. It's my not smartphone. Yeah, all these guys within reasonable distance of 14:03, the current number, to actually take the lead. Scott Pohl, Mike Rose looking at 5:06. They just shot 5:04 last game, so we know they can certainly do that. Robert Wiley and Brian Walchek need 491, and Adam Barta, Rob Gotchall, 437. So it looks like we should have an interesting game 3 coming up, without a doubt.
Well, we've had our share of excitement here on our live streams this year, but Game 3 has been the deciding factor in most challenges for the doubles lead. 967.
Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but after this hot start in the first 2 games, this group needed 6,887 to get to team all events. That's right around 230 a guy. So another thing we'll be looking out for as time progresses, and so we get deeper and deeper into the 6-game block.
So everybody in on the mix. Fantastic game number 2. 258, 202, 247, 246, 280, and 259. And yes, folks, this is a USBC Sport Certified lane condition, 39 feet. These guys are making it look way easy.
Very easy.
They are fantastic bowlers. They obviously had a game plan, and it is paying off here. Let's see if they can continue that. Everybody struck, or 5 out of 6 struck in frame number 1. Mike Rose starting with a double. A lot happening right now here. These guys shot 33-61 in the team event, and strikes aplenty. So we're watching doubles, team all events. No doubt we'll see an exciting single set as well. Here's Gotchall up. Needs 261 for the first 800 of the year. 539 through 2. 259, 280. Oh, and it goes high, leaves the 3-pin. Definitely has been a ball change for Mr. Gotchall. Hard to tell from here what it is. And there's Barta looking at potentially back-to-back opens. So again, we saw some great players within reach of that doubles lead, and then game 3, the deciding factor. Barta gives it a run, but gets 1. got 17 in the second frame.
See if he can bounce back, as well as have Robert Gotchall help him out here. I believe Barta had a very nice doubles finish a few years ago here with Hugh Miller.
That was actually last year in Baton Rouge. Barta had 7-18 in doubles. They shot 14-29. That number still within reach here, and that would be enough for the lead. They're going to have to do some talking, get Barta back on board. Looks like he might be going to the bag as these lanes start to transition. These guys migrating left. Wallachek, great shot there. Mike Rose, very good at getting left. Seen him loft the gutter more than once. He's not quite as deep as Wallachek. Pays the price there with the Greek Church. We saw John Trubinski. Actually, it was a Greek Church that cost him the first 800 of the year. Yeah, still got to the singles lead. He finished strong. But it seems like if you make a poor shot, you're going to pay the price. Got Pohl pays right there. Leaves the baby split to 310.
So we've seen 3 out of the last 4 guys go through the face here, Matt. So, as you mentioned, the third game has been the tricky one. Let's see if this experienced group can find the right moves.
So 436 will get them to the doubles lead. Scott Pohl and Mike Rose were just 60 pins back for those 2 opens there. So anybody's ball game at this point. Barta and Gotchall now stepping up.
Definitely a ball change for Gotchall there. And 10 in the pit.
And Barta back on track after a pair of opens. His first strike here in game 3. Again, 436. Their number they're gonna need. It'll take 5:05 for Rose and Pohl to get there. Aaron, let's not leave out the third pair here. Robert Wiley and Brian Wallachek. They were 913.
Need 490.
490. So anybody's game, as we said. Quietly sneaking in there. Wiley and Wallachek. Big game in game 2. 506.
Now we had a 482, a 504, and a 506 all in game 2 there. So for each team, and that is a lot.
Pohl looking to get back on it here. Started with a double before missing the baby split in frame number 3. So who knows what these guys can do to the leaderboards today, but they're They're certainly making a go of it.
And all three guys who went through the face last stream came back and delivered strikes. So a lot of communication going on, a lot of just great bowlers out there, understanding what's going on and knowing what it takes to put themselves in position to take home a title. Is unable to clean up the 6-7-10 there. That's a rough start for game 3. 45 in the 4th. Once again, Barta and Rob Gotchall need 436 to tie the leading number for regular doubles. 1403, currently held by Derek Magno and Joe Conti, as well as Chris Green and Joe Keltner.
Rose can't get to 7 to cooperate. Pohl's going to step up, looking for another double here in game 3. Appreciate everybody joining us. Matt Canizaro, Aaron Smith, live at the National Bowling Stadium. You got 3 teams on today's broadcast with a shot at the doubles lead right now. Team all events within reach as well. So tell all your friends, get on Facebook. Let them know it's going down at the stadium. I'm sure your boss won't mind if you tune into a little live streaming while you're working.
Not at all. It's only Tuesday afternoon. You got the rest of the week.
as things unfold here, of course, we'll have the calculations for you along the way. 14:03, the doubles lead. Gotchall with his first miscue of the day. Three, 4, 6, 10. Only 2 strikes for the front runners here in game number 3. So Aaron, we're seeing it again.
Varda's unable to get the 7 out.
Game 3 is it. If you get there with a shot at it after 2, game 3 is the time to communicate, make a move, do something. But that seems to be when the transition's happening, and it's getting these guys as well. Gotchall's going to give this a run, no problem, picks it up.
Fantastic cover.
He's clean through 5. But at this point, Aaron, spares are not going to get it done.
They have their work cut out for them here for the second half of the game. 4:36 once again to tie number 437 plus. And Adam Varda and Rob Gotchall take over regular doubles.
But Aaron, let's not count out Wiley and Wallachek at this point. They only needed 490. Only. That's a pretty sizable number, but
they both have 260.
They're faring much better here in game 3. Great shot there from Wallachek. His 3rd consecutive 9 count.
Conversion here, he saw his 250 out there. Let's see what Robert does this frame. Robert's still got a 260 possibility out there, so obviously very early here in game 3, but it's always good not to be mathematically eliminated.
That's always a plus. A lot of folks at home doing the numbers as well. Sure, Eric Vermilia, Steve Novak and company are at home. Crunching numbers too. Like we got some folks making a run at the classified doubles lead as well.
So looks like John and George Holstad making a run. They'll need a very big 10 frame from what it looks like here, but once again, not mathematically eliminated.
Curious about our upcoming live stream schedule, you can find that on bowl.com. Just go to the right side of your screen. Find that and all of our live stream events on the calendar. But here at the Open Championships, we'll be back at it on May 1st. We might have a surprise for you that day. More news on that coming later. But that night, Matt McNeil continues our run of Minnesota bowlers here. He'll put his 2 titles on the line, regular doubles and regular all events. That is at 10:30 p.m. our time here in Reno. 1:30 on the East Coast. Then the very next day, the afternoon, we'll head over to the Women's Championships for our first broadcast from the Reno Sparks Convention Center. USBC Hall of Famers Leanne Hulsenberg and Kim Terrell Kearney. Then on May 3rd, we're right back here at the National Bowling Stadium. Chad Nelson and Dan Bach, also from Minnesota.
Common theme around here.
And then the next day, May 4th, we head over to the RSCC again, Carolyn Dorn Ballard. So a lot of excitement on the live stream coming up in the next week, and then I will take my run at the Open Championships here on May 5th and 6th. We will not live stream that. I don't think we can pay people enough to tune in to see that. But that's our schedule coming up. So if you have some questions about that, you can always find that on Pohl.com. The right side of your screen has our live stream events, or you can type live stream into the search box at the top. Mike Rose nearly leaves another 710. Gets the 7 out, 10 pin stands. Big double for Pohl. Now, Barta and Gotchall. It's time to strike, gentlemen. They need 436. Walczek and Wiley, 490. Pohl and Rose, 5-0.
Big strike there for Gotchall. First double of game 3.
Aaron Gotchall and Barta. It's like they're quickly mathematically eliminating themselves after 2 huge games to start. Best they can get to is 438, so they're going to need all of them the rest of the way. Otherwise, they fall into the game 3 transition trap.
Wiley and Walczek still have 513 by my. Oh, I spoke too soon. Brian snuck up there before I saw his shot.
Pohl and Rose can only shoot 467, so they will not be taking the doubles lead today.
And by my math, after Robert's strike and Brian's open, they can get to exactly 490, which would tie the 1403, which is already tied.
Well, that's a lot of ifs here in game 3 again. So if you folks are watching at home, the strategy now, we saw them break the lanes down and have a real good start to doubles, but I think the goal is whatever teams can figure out game 3, that's where the doubles title is going to go. So at this point, 1403, still looking pretty safe. And certainly we didn't think that after 2 games. The strike-a-thon that happened, they shot 1245, I think, for the 5 team members for game number 2, and then just nothing happening here in game 3.
Stepping up, this is basically now or never from here on out.
So, Aaron, we do have some insight in the chat room today from Steve Harmon, who was on that backhaul direct team that quietly shot 10,111 to move into third place in team all events. Again, we talked about them, Harmon and Jack Laffey, both 2150-ish. I believe Harmon led the way with 2151, Jack Laffey 2139 to make the top 10. But both of them had 750 in singles, and Harmon just said it in the chat room that this is about the time that they saw the transition and things got a little bit rough. But then they were obviously able to get back on track going into singles. We saw that with Zerbinski and Bus 2 days ago. It seems to be the common theme. So a lot of folks, once they get done with doubles, they make a move and a ball change, and things that opened up just how they hoped for singles. So again, mathematically, it is Wiley and Wallachek, the only ones left. And Aaron, of course, even though doubles out of reach, team all events is the big one that it's down the road. You don't want to get too far ahead of yourselves, but certainly every pin will help towards that goal. 10,247, a solid number, but we've seen a handful of 10,000 so far this year. So it's certainly out there, and these guys definitely capable.
And after a 33-61 start, and that 7-pin will end in Wiley and Wallachek's run at the doubles title after that 33-61 start.
Well,
Team NABRrankings.com.
Aaron, I will say that this isn't turning out how I expected. Of course, we talked prior to Game 3 about what we've seen recently, and it's been proven again. So we'll see if they can make some changes. Scott Pohl making a ball change here, a couple frames back, and no doubt they're going to go to something a little bit shinier, maybe some pearls, maybe generate a little more angle, because they're going to migrate left, and they're going to depend on that shape on the back end. Need something that's going to react on the friction when you get down lane at the end of this 39-foot pattern. A lot of folks curious about these equipment choices. Obviously, Scott Pohl's choice, pretty easy to figure out. The rest of them, however, hard to tell from up here. But certainly if we can bring you that information, that's what the folks want to know. Right now, these guys are going to collect as many pins as they can and make some choices for singles. See if they can give it a go. We'll have all those calculations for you as soon as they're done. Aaron, it looks like Matt Smith might be struggling a little bit there.
I know he started off strong with 256.
256, I believe. He had 190 or 191 in game number 2. And now waiting for X Bowling Looks like an open in the 10th for 210. So Smith struggling. But we'll keep our eye on him as well, because that's what we do. Everybody at home in Arlington, Texas, USBC headquarters checking in. We do appreciate your support as well.
These guys are fighting the hole right here, but it's just not resulting in all 10 pins falling down. See a lot of great shots by Wallachek and Wiley down the stretch here that just did not cooperate. Same with Mike Rose. There's another 10 pin for Wallachek.
These guys talking, scratching their heads a little bit here as we get ready for the 10th frame here. Game 3 of doubles. Gotchall putting himself in position for a run at all events.
Looks like he still has a chance at 785. It's a humongous number for doubles.
I believe that would be our highest double set should he punch out here in the 10th, and it gets worse for Mike Rose after 3 9 counts. He's looking at the 410.
Gotchall stepping up on 17 to start his 10th frame. 246 still out there.
Speculation is that he's throwing the Storm High Road, his go-to ball. I thought possibly a IQ Tour, but folks at home seem to always know. Pohl's gonna finish with 204 for 670. 749 at a team event, 670. He's gonna need 800 plus to give a run for all events.
They have 14-19 at the turn, or after 6 games, I should say, for Scott Pohl. Decent count. Robert Gotchall will be in the 760s after a 661 start last evening.
Pohl and Rose, 1278. Gotchall and Barta, 1373. Aaron, where does that get them in the top 10?
$13.73. And will currently move them into 5th place.
Top 5 effort, not bad. But, certainly some regrouping needs to be done. Some big decisions and moves potentially heading into singles. If they are going to give that team all events number a run, that's where we saw Team USA Support 1 turn it on. Singles. They had a huge, huge finish. Their final game of singles, well over 1,200. To get them the lead and more. $13.09 and more coming for Wallachek and Wiley.
We can add another 20 to get to 13.29. 13.56 currently rounding out, or I guess not anymore. 13.63, the addition of Edna Barta and Robert Gotchall rounding out the top 10.
All right, folks, those of you just joining us here for the second half of today's broadcast, this is Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith live at the National Bowling Stadium. 2013 USBC Open Championships we're here to watch. 2007 regular all events champ Mike Rose Jr. Adam Barter, Robert Wiley, Mike Rose Jr., Robert Gotchall, and Brian Wallachek. So they're going to get ready for singles here in a second. Aaron's going to do some calculations, and looks like he's already got some numbers for us. Aaron, what do you got?
All right, Matt. We'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and start with Team All Events. After their doubles performance, they put up a 33-29 total to go along with their 33-61 from yesterday. Places them at 6,690 to reach Junior Team USA Support 1. And their leading total of 10,247. They'll have to go 35.57. As far as individually, both Robert Gotchall and Scott Pohl very close. Gotchall slightly ahead with 14.25 after 6, which means he would need an 8.03 to reach John Stravinsky's 22.28. Scott Pohl 14.19, 8.09. So a few fireworks. You could possibly see a few numbers go down, but we'll need to see a lot of striking for sure.
Well, I think we're going to see some moves and some ball changes here. Mike Rose already went to that gold IQ Pearl. Left the 4-pin in his first shot. Scott Pohl made that move a few frames ago in doubles and struck on his opening shot. But they're still talking it over. I don't think he thought it was his best shot.
Adam Barta also made a ball change there. I believe that was to a hammer first blood.
Makes it easier when they're recognizable.
I couldn't agree more. Compared to the old days, though, back when I believe Henry Ford had the saying, you can have a car any color you want as long as it's black. Bowling balls for the longest time. Not too much distinction between them. Very simple color schemes. And now they can do just about anything.
Yep, colors, flavors even. All right, so singles underway. We'll see. Aaron gave you the rundown. What it's going to take. Team All Events. I think Eric Vermelia went to lunch a little bit earlier today. Late in doubles. They're talking a lot, Aaron. So we will see.
They certainly are. Probably a little bit of disappointment at how Game 3 doubles ended there. This is a strong group. Mike Rose gets back on strike. Gets back on the right track with the strike. There we go. Apparently sleep is important, Matt.
Never sleep. That's what July is for, Mr. Smith. We're warriors here at the Open Championships. 125 days, that's all I'm asking for from you. I gave you 2 freebies that we're not going to talk about.
Thank you.
So I need you for 123 days. That's it. Then you can sleep all the way until next February if you'd like. A lot of excitement this week at the Open Championships. We'll have our wrap-up press release coming later today. New leader in all events. And singles, John Zerbinski, Team USA member. 789, 22-28. We saw a handful of teams make a run at the doubles lead. Top 5 in team all events. Whole bunch of top 10s in singles in all events. 2 300s and a 299 last night. And it's only going to get crazier from here. We're full the rest of the way. We kind of eased into it here in 2013. We started March 1st. We had a lot of short days with one team squad. Some of the late doubles and singles squads were moved to go a little bit earlier at 7 p.m. But now we are full. The rest of the way, 10:30s all the way until July after today. And a lot of great bowlers still to come to town. So Matt McNeil now stopping by. His team will be in town April 30th and May 1st. Always in contention in everything.
Just a week from today.
But McNeil here to check out his old friend Scott Pohl. Quick rundown of the leaderboards. On top of the team event, 35-38. Lodge Lanes 2 from Orlando, Florida. John Gaines, 3-time champion here at the Open Championships. John Janowitz, a 2-time winner and Team USA member. PBA champion Scott Newell, former Team USA member Vernon Peterson, and 1-time winner here at the Open Championships, Mitch Jabinski. 35-38, the highest score in history. On top of the team event right now, a few teams have given it a run. All come up short, including these guys you're watching right now, 33-61 last night. Good effort, but not enough. So now their sights set on team all events. That number, 10,247. Eric Vermelia and his crew of former junior Team USA, PBA, collegiate standouts. Steve Novak, Anthony Lacaze, Matthew Tuckfield, and Jeffrey Merce. And again, a couple teams have given that a run as well. 4 10,000s on the year, but all have come up short. All events 22-28, John Zerbinski. Singles 789, also John Zerbinski.
Once again, to get the team all events, these guys, team NABRrankings.com, that's National Amateur Bowler Rankings, are looking at 35-57 to match the number set by junior Team U. I should just go home for the rest of the day if I can't get the names right.
Junior Team USA Support 1.
There we go. Late night last night.
Not partying, working. Had bowling all the way till the end. 10:30 p.m. squad last night. Bowling gets done about 2 a.m. And of course, this place filled with bowlers all day long. So many great things happening inside the National Bowling Stadium. Of course, the Open Championships on lanes 1 through 64. The Bowler's Journal Championships on lane 69 through 78. And then downstairs on 10 brand new showcase lanes, the 900 Global showcase lanes. You have the 2-game challenge and the Who's Got the Look Baker Bonanza. So a lot of different formats and great opportunities for some prize money. Bowl by yourself, bowl doubles, bowl 3-person Baker event, all for fun and prize money. And of course, also down in the showcase lanes, take advantage of the fact that you can spend an hour bowling on the team lane condition here at the Open Championships. For 1 hour, you and up to 9 of your teammates can practice. $100 if you'd like some help. USBC Silver Coach Matt McNeil is there. $200, 20 bucks a guy for Mr. McNeil to help you out with ball surfaces and getting lined up on the team pattern. You can find out all about that on bowl.com/showcase lanes. There's a lot happening here. And if you like a free entry even, we're giving stuff away. If you'd like to bowl in the 2-game challenge for free, all you have to do is go to mybowlingvacation.com, book 3 room nights, one of our host hotels, and there it is, a $40 entry, all yours for free. We talked earlier about the incentives for 2014. Essentially $75 back, $20 in championships cash, and $55 back as a rebate for bowling at 10:30. So if you pay for everything and sign up by July 1st, it's free money.
It's always the best kind. Once again, this group looking at 35.57 for team all events. Not going to try to say names again, but about 237 a guy for singles. So we're seeing a few strikes up there. We're seeing a handful of 9 counts. So definitely have to make the move here if they want to put themselves in position for that. Rob Gotchall looking at 8:03 to match the all events number, 22:28 by John Zerbinski. Scott Pohl, 8:09 to get there. Obviously, both of those would take over the singles lead as well.
These guys making the right moves and good decisions, and they're around the pocket now, so it's just a matter of fine-tuning those last few details to get lined up and make a go at it. And it feels like we just got underway, but this is already game number 4 today. You're watching doubles and singles, a very talented group, all familiar names, and all capable of stringing 20 or 30 in a row.
That's all.
Our singles leader, John Zerbinski, struck 31 times, if I'm not mistaken, in singles, 789. Had a Greek church in the middle of game 3, cost him the 800. But he's already got one of those here, 805 in 2011.
Sure, he's looking big picture and hoping for get that first eagle after a already very successful year here in 2013. Team USA Trials winner, as well as a member of the Elias Cum Champions. And all that stuff he did beforehand too.
Yeah, all that other stuff, the 3 collegiate titles, Teen Masters Championship, 2 years on Junior Team USA, 2 other appearances on Team USA. So Zerbinski is a winner at every level, and now he's in position to potentially take home 2 eagles here in 2013. Unless Scott Pohl has something to say about it. Mixes him up there. Mike Rose has a lopsided mantle at home. He's got 1 eagle on it, 2007 all events. Would love to have another one to balance things out.
Looks like Hannah Barta's back on track. with a double there.
Jason Milligan, appreciate you joining us. We're back home at USBC headquarters, the International Bowling Campus in Arlington, Texas. That's right, I said 20 or 30 in a row. It looked like that's where we were headed in game 2 of doubles. You guys threw a whole lot of strikes, and saw Mike Rose throw a whole lot of strikes back in 2007. And here in 2011, he shot 22.06. That is a big number to only finish 7th. So they're all very capable.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but he had a pretty solid title defense as well, right?
He did. He threw a big strike or two when it came down to it. Took the lead briefly in 2008. We got into all that earlier. His trusty vapor zone, as far left as I've ever seen anybody play, and he managed 748 in singles to get there. Finished 3rd that year. We saw our reigning all events champion, Matt McNeil, have a similar performance. He took home the title with a record score in 2010, 23-26, and nearly repeated in 2011. Struggled a little bit at the end of singles. Came up short, finished 3rd with 22.41, and he's the first to admit, had that not happened, 2012 never would have happened, because he had another shot at all events in 2012, started singles with 157, and it was looking grim at that point, and he drew on the experience from the year before and was able to come through for his 2nd all events title in 3 years. So going 1-3-1 in all events, averaging 250, pretty solid, and Mike Rose Jr. not far behind as far as the numbers he's been putting up. 220 average for 13 years here at the Open Championships. And going back to 2004 here in Reno, that's his turning point in his career. 2010, 1947, 1936, 2198, 2161, 1970, 1983, 2206, and 1983 last year on a difficult condition in Baton Rouge. Mr. Rose throwing some new equipment here. Now a Storm guy. And off to a good start here in singles. And the hold-up here is some score corrections that need to be done. So, minor delay. We'll have these scores worked out here in just a second, and we'll be back to the action. Mr. Wallachek stopping by. I believe it's all his fault. Not really. Not sure what's happening, but looks like it's all worked out now. So Mike Rose is going to step up here on the left, Barta on the right. We got the gold IQ Pearl on the left. Hammer First Blood on the right.
away we go. Mike Rose was not iced. Comes back with a fantastic delivery. Frame number 6 of game 1 of singles here at the National Bowling Stadium. Beautiful Reno, Nevada.
Aaron, I understand you had some time off this week with some time to spend with your teammates. We won't talk about the bowling portion of the event, but certainly you got the chance to show them around Reno a little bit and enjoy some of what the town has to offer. Outside of anything inappropriate, can you share some of the things that you guys enjoyed while they were here?
Well, we didn't get to get around as much as we wanted to. Obviously, being here on location, it's nice kind of knowing a few of the spots around, and in the past 2 weeks or so, I've had a lot of folks from back home in Northwest Indiana come in, so we've got to do a few cool things. One of the nice things we bowled late Sunday evening, so we had all day Saturday to kind of just take it easy, and actually went down to the Riverwalk area, which you showed me for the first time earlier this year, and it was an absolutely gorgeous day. It was about 70 degrees out, and just walking along, checking out the mighty Truckee River, perhaps indulging in a few beverages as well along the river as well. A lot of outdoor seating and little bars and restaurants all along, and just a very cool area, and something, like I said, I had heard about for the past few years, never realized it was so close to where we're at here at the National Bowling Stadium. Just a quick jaunt down Virginia Street, and just like that, you're there. But that was very nice. That was the first time off the clock I got to walk around there, so enjoyed that as well. And then, of course, all the fine dining options offered across the street here at the Tri-Properties. We got to visit a few of those, hit a few. I know one of my favorites, as well as yours, is the happy hour special 2-for-1 pizzas at Brew Brothers. That was always nice as well. And of course, what's a trip to Reno without indulging in an awful from the Little Nugget. All of that went much better than the bowling.
Well, Aaron, we all come here for different reasons, and I know you had your hopes set on big numbers to raise the bar for me. But again, we're not going to talk about that. If you want to see how Aaron Smith did, feel free to go to bowl.com.
I wouldn't suggest it.
Go to the Open Championships page and go to the scores box, or the scores tab in the top module, and individual results. Type in Aaron Smith, and there you have it. Other than that, we're not going to talk about it.
Fair enough.
We're going to watch Scott Pohl step back up on lane 17.
Back to action once again.
Shooting at the 4-9. Gave it a run. That's 8 out. All events lead still out there for Pohl. I believe he needs 809. So it's going to take quite a few strikes now.
809 is the number for
Possible
Scott.
822 still out there. Long way to go. Just the end of game number 1 here in singles. Gotchall needs 803. He's He's got a no-tap 300 going.
A lot of 9 counts early on for Rob. Trying to find the look he had earlier in the day.
And we have just been alerted to lane 46, front 7. Let's go to xbowling.com /tournament.
I think that's the area where Jerry Case bolts are run. Not sure if that's the exact pair.
Let's see what we got. Once again, xbowling.com /tournament. Live scores from the National Bowling Stadium and the Reno Sparks Convention Center, both events. Check out all kinds of stats, completed games. Don't miss a minute of the action. It is Scott Terzo, left-hander. Actually used to be on Mike Rose's team.
How about that?
They switched things up a little bit in the last couple of years. Keep our eye on Terzo.
The left-siders are still looking for their first 300 of the year. We almost had one last night at after all the excitement of the 7 o'clock squad. The last game of singles at about 1:45 in the morning. A gentleman out of Ohio, whose name I cannot recall, at the front 8 before a high hit. I believe he ended up just leaving got one of the pins out, left a 7-pin up there to end his run, but he's putting up a nice number for singles.
So Aaron, when was the last time, if any, that you had the opportunity at a 3 a.m. lead change or perfect game?
I think that was the closest 300 game outside of when Team Tilt was here. They threw their names all over the leaderboard. Joe Keltner taking over all events. Him and Chris Green still leading doubles. Russ Wilson, Jay Futrell sitting in second at the time.
So we're almost a 24-hour operation here at the Open Championships. Competition starts every day promptly at 7 a.m. And when there is a 10:30 squad, we go till 2 or 2:30 even. So if there is a big action night, for sure, there is a possibility that I'll see Aaron Smith hard at work at his desk or asleep, working on getting the news out when I arrive in the morning.
So it's pretty close on that Team Tilt evening. Some of the registration bracket folks were already here getting ready for the 7 a.m. squad. And lanes were already oiled to see your teammate Jeff Jensen.
Well, Aaron, we do have two updates right now. Terzo still striking front 9 according to xbowling.com. And Scott Pohl right in front of us on our featured pair, unfortunately not striking. So all events will not happen for the former Team USA member. He is mathematically eliminated from contention there. Singles still out there. These guys need well over 3,500. They're going to make a run in team all events. A lot of strikes on the board, but a lot of 9s as well.
Chris Bailey to our left out of Yakima, Washington, also with the front 5. 2:01 start in singles.
Aaron, I'm on the edge of my seat, wondering what's happening down on lane 46. Xbowling.com has Scott Terzo with the front 9.
I thought that was because we're a fire hazard here behind lane 17 and 18.
That too. But thanks to technology, we can bring the action to you live on Pohl TV. One of more than 24 broadcasts from Reno this year. We'll be all over town between here and the Reno Sparks Convention Center. Very busy first week of May coming up. You can find that schedule on Pohl.com. Pohl.com/livestream. We'll get you there as well. And technology also allows us to watch what's happening at the other side of the house. Got to watch Brandy while she was bowling the women's championships during our last broadcast. Kept tabs on things. Got tabs on a 6-bagger for Brian Wallachek. Went over his resume a little bit earlier. 7th in all events last year in Baton Rouge. PBA Regional standout. Formerly exempt brother of Lonnie Wallachek. And we did find out in our research, and I would like to know more, that their father Pohl was a founder of the Wichita State bowling program. Interesting stat there. Might want to check that out. And looks like Scott Terzo, he got a 7 count on his first shot in the 10th frame.
Speaking of 10th frames, we're finishing up game number 1 here, singles.
And according to X-Bowling Aaron, 7 count, looks like it was the 139. So this is the head pin on his attempt at 300. The 139. And we'll click back and see if he picked that up or not. Looks like he did, so he'll be in the 270s, and we'll turn our attention back to lane 17 and 18 here at the National Bowling Stadium. Game 1 coming to a close. Get some calculations going for you. Scott Pohl led the way last night with a 300 game and 749 series, but struggling here in the back half of game number 1 of singles. Looking at the fill ball right now, a strike will give him 180.
Mike Rose Jr. will be in the 220s, upper 220s.
Matt McNeil standing by. Perhaps we'll get him to come on and talk about what his friends are doing. I know he was down there talking to them a few minutes ago and potentially talking strategy or what's happening out there. Mike Rose migrating further left. Punches out for 229. Barter strikes after the open frame in the 9th. Possible 234.
Robert Gotchall stepping up on 17, looking to get to the 220s as well with a few strikes here. Need to get to 803 to reach the all events number. Great shot by Rob that attempted to not cooperate.
Gotchall needing 803 for the all events lead here. A couple of decent sets so far, but
Not
now
left himself much room.
now he needs them all.
On the bright side, if he gets there, he'll be the first person with 3 300s on the line.
Correct, and the second bowler in history with back-to-back 300s. So
I guess he could go 299, 299.
he could do that. Still get there. Needs count here on the fill ball. 806 still a possibility. Adam Barta, big finish, 234. Time is flying. Game 2 of singles. A few minutes away. That's why we set up those score corrections and ball returns so that we can be here longer with you guys. We appreciate everybody joining us. Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith live at the 2013 Open Championships. All right, so 206 for Gotchall here in game number 1. 229 for Mike Rose, 234 Adam Barta, and 180 for Scott Pohl. The fifth member of their team, Brian Wallachek, stepping up on the left lane with a chance at 257. So Wiley Spares on the right. He'll be in the 220s as well.
Wallachek hasn't missed since that unfortunate 7-10 in the third. He's come back strongly.
Aaron's got the calculator out. He's going to do some math for us.
Wallachek just gets enough of the three, but so count will put him in the 230s.
All right, Aaron, so they're going to wrap up game number 1 here. They're going to do some calculations, and we'll take a quick station identification. Be right back with you with game number 3.
first game of their singles competition. Completed team NABRrankings.com out of West Henrietta, New York. Added another 1,084, which puts them 2,473 pins away from team all events. With 2 games to go. It's going to require a 247 average out of these competitors, which has been done before. Last striking will be necessary. In game number 1, Scott Pohl, 180. Adam Barta, 234. Mike Rose, 229. Robert Gotchall, 206. And Brian Wallachek, 235 in the effort to get to that 1084. Gotchall still has his shot at all events. He's going to need a lot of strikes. He needs an 803 to get to the number. He has 806 still available.
All right, so here we are, game 3 of singles. And Aaron gave you the rundown of what they need. I'm sorry, game 2 of singles. Looks like 2473 is the number for the next 2 games. We'll have those calculations along the way. Joining us now, USBC Silver coach, the featured coach downstairs at the Showcase Lanes, Matt McNeil, 1 week away from putting it all on the line. Right now watching his good friend Scott Pohl try to get it done here. Matt, how's it going today?
Good, Matty. Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here on my day off so I can complete the number of days, consecutive days I'm spending here at the National Bowling Stadium, so I like it. Gotta come watch my good friends, Rob Gotchall, Mike Rose, Scott Pohl, all these guys. Barta, I'm really good friends with them, so it's always fun to come out and watch these guys bowl.
All right, well, Matt, we've been talking about things here. Obviously, as you saw, they all had a pretty solid run at doubles, and as we've seen recently, a lot of teams having a run at it through 2 games, and then things kind of going bad in game 3. The transition coming. We talked about it in the chat room and on the broadcast, and you know, if you're the team that can figure out what to do in game number 3, it looks like you're the ones that are going to win. But their strategy coming in looked pretty good. They're to the right with a little bit of surface, you know, trying to break the lanes down, open them up a little bit for later. They had a fantastic second game of doubles, and then the wheels kind of came off a little bit. You know, you were here, you were watching, you talked to Scott a little bit. Any idea what's happening to all these teams in game number 3 as they transition, and what the moves need to be at that point?
I was talking with Scotty, and it just sounded like they got a little squirrely in the towards the end of the mid lane. And, you know, it's just at that point where you're almost committed to the ball you're using. You don't have enough time to switch and find something new. But at the same time, you have to throw the ball that much better now to get it to knock down 10 instead of, you know, whereas, you know, earlier in the game you had a little more forgiveness there. So I think that's what a lot of people are finding is they're just kind of getting trapped in that zone. You know, I'd say about 4 or 5 frames into game 3. And it just seems like that's the turning point where you need to make the big step and the big ball change, and you just have to have that kind of that leap of faith, I think. You know, I think that's when you need to make a 3 and 2 and go to a ball change, maybe a release position change too. So we'll see if you can. I think if you can master that, then I think the third game woes are going to go away. But I think what really has people fooled is that, you know, it's like, okay, we only need, you know, I think prime example would be Fleming and Steelsmith yesterday or a couple days ago, and you know they only needed 40 over that last game, but you know, so okay, I made a good shot, 10 pin, made a good shot, 4 pin. All right, now I just got to, you know, just make a little move here, and just try to dial it in. But you can't, you're not going to shoot 230 or 240 doing that. You're going to shoot 2-0. You're going to shoot 190. And I think that's the people who can get that combination figured out, make that move, have that leap of faith, and then have it work well for them, those are going to be the guys who win doubles.
All right, well, we're not even halfway through here in 2013, and we know that's the case. We saw it happen with those guys the other day. We saw Jason Hurd and Tom Milton run into the same situation. 85 over after 2 and shoot 390 in game number 3. And again, it's it's a matter of, like you said, just it's coming, and just making the right decision and having faith in that. And you can't really squeak it out, even when you need 40 or 50 over. That's a bunch. That's 225 a guy. It's not a little bit. So you have to make that move, and a lot of these guys then are making that move in singles and having pretty big sets. We saw that with the back call direct guys. They shot 10,000 the other day. We talked to Steve Harmon in the chat room earlier. He talked about that transition, and then they came back with 750s and 2100s. So it's there. It's just making the move. And now these guys seem to be lining back up for singles. They bumped left quite a bit.
It looks like Wally's got a nosebleed there. He's changing out Kleenexes in between frames. He's pulling out Kleenex out of his nose.
Well,
he's a trooper.
He's
that
a
just
trooper.
Tells you how
Got
good
up there.
He gets up there with a bloody nose. Can we get a good? Oh, we can't get a picture of that, unfortunately.
Threw a quick strike and back to the infirmary over here. So that's the way to do it. If it means either throw a strike or bleed out on the approach, well, he's going to throw a strike. So we'll see 835 out of Walchuk, a new singles leader, with back-to-back 300 games here. Either that or bleed to death. So
think somebody will ask for those bloody Kleenexes if he takes the lead over? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think that's a biohazard.
I think we drew the line at a drinking cup. Last year, Mr. McNeil shoots 847 in doubles, and after every frame or two, walking back and forth to the water cooler, and somebody snatched up that drinking cup when it was all over, and I believe it was autographed even.
It was. They had that gentleman had a fine souvenir, so unfortunately it hasn't made the test of time and hasn't made itself into the National Bowling Museum Hall of Fame or whatever. So
not quite yet.
Not quite yet, but
perhaps we'll get that in the glass case next to the 900 Global breakout.
Yes. I actually got to go dust it. It's gotten a little dusty down at the showcase lane. It's sitting next to my my All Events Eagle, so that'll be one of my projects to do between lessons tomorrow, I think.
See, that's why I don't have to worry about all that clutter on my mantle, all those eagles and all those things. Just a lot easier to keep things tidy that way. Another big shot from
going back to the Kleenex.
Bloody Brian Wallachek.
There you go.
It reminds me of those old Columbia 300 ads that they used to have, where Chris Barnes and Wes Millat and those guys dressed up on the train tracks, looking like the bully with the big ball back then, and the tough guys, and they all had cool nicknames, and the DV8 guys now with their nicknames. Here we go. Let's try this one out. Bloody Brian Wallachek.
I like it. Have you seen Bob Learn's photo? Bob Learn Jr., Mr. 300, has a couple of really good DV8 photos out there. And for a gentleman who's up there just a tad in his years, not to make Bob seem old or anything, but he looks pretty intimidating. Like I wouldn't want to run into him in a dark alley or something. So anybody who's friends with him on Facebook, check him out there on his Facebook page.
Man, we got a lot of folks checking in the chat room today as well. Dave Armstrong, Ronnie Horton, all familiar names will be coming our way pretty soon. Armstrong Printing.
Yep, Dave Armstrong. There's something you can bet on. He'd bet on it.
Well, if he was taking bets on what was going to happen on April 30th and May 1st, when Matt McNeil takes the lanes at the National Bowling Stadium. What do you think?
I'm gonna say I'm just gonna set a goal of, you know, if I can get to 2000, 2050, I'm gonna be really happy with my performances here. And just with all the changes, practice routine's a little different this year. It's not any worse, but it's just a little different. Being away from the team, being away from home, and you know, just being here every day it's a lot different. You know, it's totally new for me, so new experience. So, you know, I just want to go out, make a lot of good shots, hopefully find a good tempo, find a good rhythm, and hopefully I can make some good things happen out there. But I'm going to stick to my good old one frame at a time routine, and we'll see how it works.
Well, the world will see it. It'll be the middle of the night, but they'll be watching.
Yes, make
May
sure
1st and 10:30 p.m. Pacific. It's 1:30 on the East Coast. Last year, we had you on totally by accident, and it worked out. 8:47 in the all events lead. So the year before, 8:22 in double with a 300. So we're looking forward to this year's fireworks. You can check that out on Bowl TV, May 1st, or May 2nd technically, 1:30 a.m. Eastern. You can find that whole schedule on bowl.com on the right side of your screen. Here's bloody Brian Wallachek.
He's taking a balk. I think he needs another Kleenex. Barta's bringing him some more Kleenex there. I think he rolled one up and he shoved it in his nostril. He might have tried to breathe in through the nose and it might have gotten wedged up there a little bit. So we'll see. He's going to
This
make
is a live stream first.
That's right.
We've never had an ambulance on the live stream broadcast before, but this continues. There'll be plenty of excitement. He's got the front three here, looking for 4 in a row. Started with 230.
He brings a new definition to the term foul line adjustment. That's got to hurry. Oh, how about that? Oh, Barta's got one rolled up for him already. There you go.
That's teamwork right there.
I like that. These guys are great.
That is being a team
Hold
player.
on, I'm going to get a picture of this.
Let me hold your bloody tissues while you get up there and throw a strike, because Team All Events is on the line.
All right. I'm gonna post this. I got a good picture of Wally here with his injury, and I'm gonna post it on Facebook right now. So check out my Facebook page, and you can see the photo.
Man, if you want to send that over, we'll get that on the USBC Open Championships Facebook page as well.
Sure, I'll zip it to you right now.
Here is dedication. Brian Wallachek, 4 in a row here. Slowly bleeding to death.
Internally. Where would we be without technology, though? How cool is this? You know, we can throw it on our Facebook page, we can text it back and forth.
Here's Wallachek on the left lane. 4 in a row, looking for 5. 235 start here in singles.
Oh, there you go. Now, it'd be funny if he was throwing the first blood.
Or if he was left-handed, and they say that the lefties will get a nosebleed when they get inside of the third arrow.
Oh, that's right.
See, that was a perfect opportunity for a lefty joke, and nobody has taken advantage of it, so I went ahead and did it for you. Brian Wallachek is bowling like a left-hander, getting a nosebleed as he gets left. Well, there it is, 5 in a row.
Yeah, I think the lanes are starting to calm down really nice. I think he's these guys are all marathon bowlers. You know, they're no stranger to lawn blocks, and I think they're really finding their stride right now and getting settled in. And it looks like the pins are cooperating. Guys are making good shots. So we can, I think they'll press a little bit at that all events lead. Very deserving group. A great, you know, definitely a great group of bowlers. Surprising that a good group like this doesn't have an eagle with all the talent here. So,
well, they've got their lone bird, Mike Rose Jr. Of course, 2007 All Events champ. And we talked earlier about his mantle being a little bit lopsided. He'd love to add another one to balance that out. And at the same time, down on lane 39, Gordon Kilpatrick starts with 268, had a possible 279 in game 2.
Oh, wow, that's huge.
We'll check out xbowling.com. We'll log into lane 39. 268, 277. So
he's 68 and 77 is 85. That's he's 550. He's 155 over. He only needs 230.
Only 230 is a bunch.
Yeah, well, yeah, closing in on a lead here at trust me, I can tell you from experience, closing in on a lead is extremely difficult here at the OC. And I know I say you only need 230, but I mean after shooting 260, 270, that's...
Well, we saw John Drabinski in the very same boat, 279, 269, I believe was his first 2 games just a couple days ago, and started the last game with the front 5 or 6. Greek Church. So that huge number quickly turned into trying to hold on, and he did. He finished strong with 241 for 789. So that's the number these guys are chasing in singles, 789. We talked a lot about doubles, 1403. Everybody fell a little bit short, but 789 is it, our highest series on this 39-foot lane condition. And a couple of guys in contention here.
So we'll keep an eye on him. See what happens there. I'm sure Mr. Zerbinski will be eagerly awaiting the updates, as he now he's carrying the torch and also carries the. Oh, come on! There you go.
For your viewing pleasure. Brian Walczyk also does trick shots.
He does.
As he makes the 8-pin dance and fall for 6 in a row here to start game number 2.
That's the old NBS shuffle, I like to call it.
Now, Matt, I believe, and I'm about 99% confident that 17 and 18 is the pair that John Janowicz bowled on in 2004 when he shot 858 in singles. Took home the singles title and all events that year as well.
You would be correct, sir. I believe you're historically correct there.
So all these years later, different pins, different lane panels even.
Yes, sir.
This place was redone. All the lanes replaced in 2006. And of course, twister pins, synthetic bowling pins. A thing of the past at this event, at least.
I love those pins. They just flew around. They made me feel. I remember my first time I bowled Junior Olympic Gold was in this building in 2001, and I think I got to the top 30, which I was ecstatic. I think I used like a Columbia Chaos and an El Nino 2000 the whole time. But I remember I had some mixers, and I was like, you know, they used to call me Fluff back in the day in Minnesota because I was a late bloomer and didn't have a whole lot of muscle and couldn't put a whole lot on the ball, so I kind of fluffed it. But I felt like a king, really ripping racks over here on those twister pins, so I had a lot of fun on those pins. Because they really flew around. Did you ever get to bowl on those?
I did here, actually, in 2004. I'm still waiting for that bloom to come. Waiting for my for all those revs to appear and for the carry to.
You can start using a razor and shaving.
Yeah, all those good things.
Oh yeah.
Looking forward to it. Maybe putting up some big numbers here as well. certainly bigger than Aaron Smith. We have our department competition. Again, we're not going to talk about how he performed.
No, sir.
Because that would, of course, lead into my performance last year. So we'll steer clear of that. But that'll be happening on May 5th and 6th. And my goal every year, as of late, to get within 400 pins of Matt McNeil. Did not happen last year, unfortunately. But you go ahead and keep shooting 2,200, and,
all right.
And I'll keep my 400 pin rule, and I'm okay.
All you got to do is shoot 1,800 then.
I know, and that'd be a fantastic improvement, and I'd be very happy with that. But now, though, I know I'm going to have to play a little bit straighter, because if I get inside of the third arrow, I'm going to get a nosebleed as well. It's a dangerous sport we have here.
And actually, it was Eric. I got to give the Fluff nickname. Eric Vermillier was the guy who came up with that when we were bowling together as kids. So Eric gets all the credit for that one. He just texted me. And Wallachek, he's in the red. So you know what that means, Matty.
All eyes on Wallachek.
He's getting ahead on the scoreboards.
Well, strikes piling on.
And in the brackets.
Looks like the blood waterfall has stopped for the time being.
That might be lucky blood, though. You might not want to stop bleeding. I don't know. You can be. I'm kind of superstitious, so I'd almost maybe want to keep bleeding just to keep the good vibes going, you know? Did we get that picture of Brian up there?
I'm putting that up right now. I was listening to the lane monitor call center desk to let them know that the gentleman on 18 has the front 7 so they can alert the media department. Where are those guys? Shouldn't they be out here watching this?
Yeah, I know.
Slackers.
I know. You know, I hear all they do is sit in their media office and sit in their comfy chairs and drink their fancy bottled water. And
Well, yeah, we wait for the scores to happen, and then they bring the bowlers in to talk to us.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
yeah,
It's cold out here. I don't want to come out here.
I remember being summoned into the Canizaro office. I had to get past the bodyguards and go through the concierge, but I finally made it. All right, Brian Walchek, lane 18, front 7. Looks like the bleeding has subsided. We'll see if that's lucky or not. Scott Pohl did have 300 yesterday. However, not a sport member. Unfortunately, does not get the ultra cool Sport 300 ring. So anybody coming out here, if you're not a sport member, please join right now so you don't have to kick yourself in the face, which Scott did after he found out he won't get the super cool 300 Sport 300 ring. So good plug for USBC Sport Bowling. Pay your extra $15. It's well worth it. Hopefully Brian's a sport member. Carry. Brian getting out the shake and bake on lane 18. Makes me want to fillet a couple fish, get the frying pan of peanut oil, cut up the potatoes, and have some shore lunch there, Matty.
Matt, you're making me hungry here with still a whole game to go. I appreciate that. And it looks like Mr. Wallachek's trying to earn himself an interview. He's got the front 8 here.
It's never a good tournament unless you get unless you get your picture taken.
We got jokes. Two lefties talking, don't make it right. Oh, some clever people out there.
Who came up with that one?
That was Terry Bigham back at headquarters.
I like it. All right, so they need 2473 to take over team all events. They're so they got to go 473 over in 2 games between the 5 of them. It's a large number. It's doable, but it's certainly doable, especially if we give Wally a 300 there. Gotchall can shoot 258, Rose 220. Barta can get to 2-0, Pohl 2-1. So they could put a dent. Oh no. Oh no. That's a. Might have just gotten a little soft in the hand there. It's a little slow and a little soft. Rob's got such an amazing game, though. I mean, this is one of the guys right here that easily could be very, very competitive on tour. But oh, almost picked it up. You know, with the state of bowling, professional bowling, he elects to remain as an amateur bowl his a lot of local tournaments, a lot of Midwestern regional tournaments such as the Boot Hill, a lot of the bigger tournaments. There's a big tournament in Green Bay, the TNBA tournaments. If there's a Megabuck tournament, he'll bowl it. But just a phenomenal player, really definitely underrated as far as his talent is concerned. So hopefully get back on that horse. Still shooting 226. Here's the first. Oh, that's got to sit. Oh, Wally.
Wow. Back-to-back Greek churches for these guys. Got that one in for sure.
And a 5 count isn't exactly what you want on an 8-bagger. That costs you a little count. That's going to put a dent in that team all events effort, unless they can really start up a frenzy here in the last game. But we'll see what happens.
Doesn't look like we'll have a new all events leader today. Wallachek gets 1.
5-1.
Got to get the count for sure.
That is right, my good sir. Every pin counts 100% of the time.
Well, we talked about that with our New Yorkers. The Hornswogglers gave it a run. They are in 2nd place in team all events, 10,204. They came up just 43 pins short. And really over the marathon of it, the 45 games, that's 1 pin a game. And there's a couple right there on that shot by Wallachek, 5-1 in the 9th. Gotchall, however, 5-4. So picked up one of those.
Well, and it's just magnified on the double because you get 10 plus the next 2 balls. So I mean, it really gets magnified on a double up.
Well, and
that count gets really, really important.
Our doubles leaders, there's a tie at 1403, so 1 pin anywhere along the way in those 3 games.
Yep.
And they do add up, especially with 5 guys in 45 games. And I mean, no doubt our leaders, every one of them will come off the lanes and they'll say, "Oh, I left a lot out there," and it's true. I mean, obviously, if you didn't shoot a perfect score, then there was something left out there for sure. You could always want more. You always leave never thinking it's going to be enough, and you never do know. Anything can happen. But yeah, you want to get every pin and make the best shots you can. That's the lesson we learned from John Janowitz this year. He had no idea what he needed for the team record. He just went up there and his goal every time and knock down all 10 pins, and he did it.
I think Wallachek might want to bash his head into the counter and start that nosebleed again.
And Alex Cavagnero checking in the chat room. He is on that Hornswogglers team, sitting second place in team all events right now. They gave it a run in team event as well. 33.71, I believe, was their number, just ahead of these guys we're watching right now.
33.61 last night, so good team event score. Barta just got ripped there. That was a big shot because he could have gotten to 2-0, and now he's going to be looking at a 180. That's bad for team all events. It's bad for singles. It's bad for all events, and it's bad for brackets. It's bad for super brackets too. That's an ouch. Gotchall gets 215, Rose 228.
So, do some calculations here. Aaron Smith is probably around here somewhere, keeping an eye on things. I know he was down watching Gordon Kilpatrick, who started 268, 277 in singles. Gordon down on lane 39. He's got a possible 249 still out there. That would give him 794. He'd squeak into the lead, but he needs everything along the way.
So he needs, how many frames has he got left?
Still early in game 3. It's only the 5th frame right now.
Okay, so he needs to sheet.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
789 on top in singles.
Big John Zerbinski.
Lane 13.
Oh,
Kevin Hyam, first 9, right in front of us.
yeah, he's in the red.
223, 194. Now the front 9 here in game 3.
See the red, it'll put you ahead. So Wally will be in the 240s.
Scott Pohl, 206. Adam Barta, 183. Mike Rose Jr., 228. Gotchall, 215. Wallachek, 247. And I know he's thinking he wants that 9th frame back. So he's at 482. Singles, not a possibility on this pair. But a huge finish would certainly give these guys a surge.
1079 they just had there. So we'll take 4, 2163 after 2. They're yeah, they need
looks like it's going to take 1394 at this point by our unofficial calculations. Our statistician Aaron Smith.
So basically,
somewhere
we need to see a lot of strikes. We need red X's again, Matt. Maybe they could have like a team punch off. And
as soon as we mentioned Mr. Hyam,
oh, we put the black cloud on him. didn't we?
opens in the 10th, 265.
No. Poor Captain. So starting out the way they need to start. We need a slew, an absolute slew of strikes. We need to see 4 guys, red strikes, at least through 9. Maddie, a little sidebar story. Rob Gotchall is currently 1st and 2nd place in doubles at the BJ. Also, he shot 300 and was in the high game pot, so he is guaranteed a good chunk of change from that. Plus, this group has top couple places in the BTM and doubles and singles, I believe. So they're not going to be leaving Reno empty-handed. That is for sure.
Well, Matt, no doubt that time spent at the Bowlers Journal Championships certainly had to have helped all of them, especially Gotchall. As you said, had a spectacular time over there, shot 300. And now bowling very well here in doubles and singles on the same pattern. That was the point there. If you want to get a look at the pattern, a little bit of practice and a potential for some prize money, you can do so at the Bowlers Journal Championships, and then come over here and put everything you learn to use, just like Mr. Gotchall is today.
Well, I think it's good just to get 3 games in over there and get the feel for the stadium. You know, you are on the high end. There is a wall there, but you kind of just get that feel of bowling here with the high ceilings and the mirrors and the scoring and, you know, the big scoring screens and everything like that. You just get a feel for the sounds and the approaches and everything like that. So it's a must for every bowler who wants to be competitive. It's just a must. You gotta at least bowl it once and just really take advantage of, you know, kind of getting used to the surroundings. Now, there's always that. I always have a little apprehension bowling in a new place for the first time. You're just unsure of the approaches, or, you know, just getting accustomed to the masking units and the pins and the sounds and the smells and everything like that. So I think it's a very good thing to do before you bowl.
All right, Matt, so as we talked about, these guys need 1395 to squeak into the team all events lead. It's a pretty huge number.
Oh, yes. Maddie, can I give a quick plug for one of our sponsors?
Sure.
I went over to the Atlantis Spa this morning and had a wonderful massage. And they also have a great, they have these awesome showers that have aromatherapy built into them, and they have LED lights. And so you're in the shower and you can choose between like Arctic Blast or Irish Meadows or any of these things, and it's just extremely relaxing and, you know, feeling really good, upbeat, you know, nice and loose. I'm definitely going to do it again before I go bowl. So, I mean, for any bowlers staying over there or just wanting to get loose before your event, I highly recommend stopping over there. Just a wonderful staff, wonderful facility. Definitely give it a check. You know, plus the showers were amazing. I mean, who doesn't like a good shower? I love showers.
All right, now we know everything about Matt McNeil and more. So if you need to find Matt on April 30th during the day, check the Atlanta Spa. And right now, Matt, $13.95. That's $2.79 a guy.
And I think we're running out of mathematical options early here because we got Pohl 28 in the second. Wally's got 27 in the second. Barta's the only guy with a double working. So I think just about ready to close the book on the Eagle hunt for this group this year, but doesn't mean that they can't still have a good year. They had a good team event, some good double scores up there, good cashers, and they're all grinders. They're tournament bowlers. They'll really be working hard out there and trying to get every pin they can because they know how every pin counts and always try to do your best and place as high as you can and grab a couple extra dollars from the prize fund.
All right, so Mr. Kilpatrick down in lane 39, xbowling.com/tournament. Get your live score. Needs 245 for the singles lead. 793 still out there. He's stepping up in the 9th frame with a possible 248.
So it's still doable for him. Or no, he's done?
Yeah, no, it's still out there.
It's
if he
still
strikes out, he's our new singles leader. But
okay. What frame is he in?
He's in the 9th frame.
Okay.
Possible 248. So that would give him, by my calculation, 792.
That would be enough to eclipse Mr. Zerbinski.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, 793. That's still enough either way.
Still
but
enough.
Needs to go out and get count on the fill.
Yep. Make sure to stay behind the line. Don't want to foul. Of course, nobody could forget the 1991 Fairlanes Open, when a certain individual needing 7 to win the title accidentally let it go into the gutter, getting 0 and losing a title to Pete Weber.
Well, Matt, you'll notice, and we've actually not talked about this all year long. We kind of wanted it to be a surprise. But if you look up on the ceiling here at the National Bowling Stadium, on every couple of pairs of lanes, there's a camera.
Ah.
Foul line cameras here. So for all those folks that foul and they want to protest, that's fine. We'll be glad to hear your protest. And they say,
I like it.
My favorite is I never foul. I was this far away from the line.
Yep.
Well, now we have visual proof, one way or the other. It's a camera, takes a picture from the ceiling, so we'll know. And typically,
that's it for Mr. Kilpatrick.
Yep.
9 spare. 238 now, the best he can do.
All right, Aaron said he threw a good shot, left a 10 pin in the 9th frame, so 773 still a possibility. That'll get him in the top 5.
Mr. Zerbinski, you can breathe again.
And Mr. Vermilia
can breathe again too.
As well, yeah.
However, we have the Murderers Row set up and coming up here in May. Of course, we got who do we got coming down the pipeline? I know we got my team. We got Riggs's team coming up in a couple weeks. We got
the Armstrong printing guys.
Armstrong guys. I don't know who should be more afraid of the Armstrong guys, the craps table or the stadium, or the guys holding leads.
So, all right, everybody at home watching the leaderboards, Zerbinski, Vermilia, a little sigh of relief.
Just finishing up here. So the no leads will
A lot of close calls today, a lot of possibilities, a lot of strikes thrown, and a lot of, unfortunately, splits in between all those strikes. And great performance by these guys nonetheless. All three pairs gave it a run. In doubles, Adam Barta looking for some retribution here in singles. Starts game 3 with the front 4.
I actually got to bowl. I bowl the Hoinky every year with Barta. He's a lot of fun. He almost got to take the, or no, not the Hoinky, the Peterson, I should say. Peterson. I bowl the Peterson every year with Barta. It's a fun time, and he almost took the lead last summer. However, couldn't make it happen, unfortunately. Tim Barrett ended up taking home the money, but Tim a deserving champion as well. That's where maybe Adam can get in the red here. Maybe give us a little excitement towards the end of the broadcast. And I'm sure his bracket sponsor would appreciate it. See a little antics from Mike Rose on that Brooklyn. Barta had to back off. Goes high.
All right, Matt, so what kind of lessons did we learn today? I know we saw a very solid strategy when it came down to starting out on the fresh 39-foot pattern here in doubles and singles. Playing together, playing to the right, break them down with some surface. And then we learned that there's a point towards the end of game 2 in doubles where things start to transition, and then in game 3, if you don't figure that out quick enough, things can get bad very quickly. And we've seen that consistently over the last couple weeks. And then the goal, of course, with all of that lane play and strategy is to set the lanes up for singles and to have a good effort. And these guys certainly are striking a lot and having some good games here. But how can teams coming in learn from this, I guess, in your USBC silver level experience?
Well, I think, having a goal, I think goal setting is extremely important. I think, I know I ask a lot of guys when I work with them downstairs, what's your goal? And they just don't have one. I mean, it's, well, I'm just going to go out and bowl and see what happens. I think that's okay, but I think it's very important to have a well laid out goal, maybe if not for yourself, but for the team. Or, like, let's say I want to have a 30 clean this year, or I want to, I want to have 2,000, or I want to make 9 good shots per game. Something like that. I think starting with a simple goal and then developing a plan on how to achieve that goal, whether it's playing the lanes together, like we saw the Steelsmith guys, they were all using Lucids. They all used the same ball. I think things like that really set apart the people who have success and the people who don't. So I think it's very important to really mentally prepare, plan, take your time, set goals, develop a game plan. Certainly take advantage of everything USBC has to offer you. You know, the BJ on the high end here, the Baker Bonanza, the 2-gamer. You know, the gentleman who shot 300 last night bowled the 2-gamer as a warm-up, and he goes out and shoots 300 in team. So, you know, that's a prime example of how good these side events are for your game. So, you know, going back to the things of working together as a team, developing a game plan, setting goals, being diligent on the lanes, good team communication, and then just good spare shooting.
Make your spares and
yeah.
certainly fill frames and get your count.
Yeah.
And you got to have a little bit of bravery too, as we talked about in the Game 3 doubles transition. It might be necessary to make a bigger move than you're anticipating and take a risk, and it either could pay off or the opposite. So you just never know. But a lot of great bowlers and close calls, and falling a little bit short. So it's interesting to see things unfold from this perspective for sure.
Yeah, it's always easy to sit. I mean, it's extremely easy to sit back here and say, "Oh, I do this, I do this, I do this." You know, but then you get out on the lanes and it's like tunnel vision. So that's one thing to sit in the stands, and it's another thing to be on the lanes. Nice shot from Rob there. But I just can't stress that enough. Anybody who comes out here, please work together with the group of people you come out here with. I've worked with a lot of individuals who, yeah, my team didn't want to come down and do the practice. They don't think it's worth it. They don't think they need it. Everybody just kind of plays all over the place. And I really am sad when I hear that, because the patterns really emphasize working together, and that's how you make them nice. And for a lot of people, they don't get to have maybe as good of experience as they could if all 10 guys would band together and take a team practice, or, you know, develop a game plan and work together. And I know all these guys share all their money. Me and the Linz Lakers, we all split 10 ways. Riggs's guys do the same thing. David Lehner's team, who's going to be featured on the live stream, they do that too. So it's really important to share everything with your teammates and really make it a team experience. You know, you're coming out here with your friends, you're traveling so far, you're spending all this money. You know, you might as well really help each other out and have fun with each other.
And man, I think this year we're seeing bowlers come to town and stay a little bit longer, because there is so much to do inside the venue. Certainly if you're a competitive bowler, this is the place to be. You know, four events in one building, and of course, as you said, some extracurricular activities that the teams enjoy doing together as well. Throwing the practice session downstairs, and you got yourself a pretty full couple of days, you know. And so we're seeing guys come into town 2, 3, 4 days early and taking advantage of all those opportunities. And you know, at worst, it gives you a chance to see the patterns and get loose and get comfortable and practice up, get a little bit sharp. And, you know, more and more as it goes on, I think the success of the setup here is speaking for itself. And these guys have been in town all week long, and they've been around watching good bowlers, of course. They were here to watch Durbinski and his guys make a run at things. They watched the back call direct guys in their 10,000 and team all events. So it certainly is possible to come in here early in the morning and spend the entire day here, bowling, watching. You know, plenty of good food at the snack bar right behind us, and certainly make a whole day of it.
Yeah, and certainly there's a lot of cool stuff to see and do. I mean, you can check out the latest equipment from all the guys in the pro shop. We got the 900 Global booth downstairs, and then all the regular manufacturers are upstairs in their normal spots. You know, and it's a great time. There's a lot of really good deals out here. You know, I mean, you know, shoes are a little, usually, I mean, I run a pro shop myself back home, and I mean, they're selling shoes, bags, balls, I mean, for a good amount under what I sell stuff for back home. So I think, you know, there's definitely good deals to take advantage of out here. You know, every manufacturer has a coupon in the coupon book. You know, plus a lot of great restaurants around. You know, use that coupon book. I mean, I'd challenge somebody to at least use 10, 15 coupons out of there and really explore the town. You know, eat at some different local places, and really make an experience out of it. You get out what you put in, Matty. Just like the Beatles said.
Well, things are winding down. It's getting quiet here at the National Bowling Stadium. We do appreciate everybody joining us today. Matt Canizaro and Matt McNeil. Aaron Smith alongside us as well, crunching some numbers. Does not look like we'll have a new leader today, but we saw some great bowling, a lot of strikes, and we learned a lot. And that's all you can ask for. And thanks to everybody for tuning in. We've got a couple more frames to go. We're frame number 8 right now. And then we'll wrap things up and get ready for the 3 p.m. team event. So right on schedule. We'll have these lanes oiled up, and those guys will be out here in no time.
Yeah, you really, we really got to give tip our hats to the lane maintenance crew here. I mean, these guys getting squads off. I don't think I've ever seen a squad go late yet. And historically we've seen squads go off late and things like that. And I've seen all the squads are right on time. The lane guys are really working hard, making sure the machines are out, the lanes are ready. The cleaning crew here, the housekeeping crew, goes through, make sure everything's mopped up, cleaned up, ready for the next shift. And it's a very, I think a lot of people don't see how much effort it goes into running this and making sure everything's tip-top shape for all the bowlers out here. So those people deserve a tip of the hat and a pat on the back. They work very hard.
Well, this event has changed a lot in the past 10 years, believe it or not, Matt. Before 2003, there were back-to-back team events at night and not on fresh oil. So in 2003, we went to fresh oil for both team events for the first time, and that has been very well received over the years. And then it was only a matter of time now until we were able to offer fresh oil for all squads. And we're doing that this year with the 2 different lane conditions, one for team event and one for doubles and singles. So we had to change the schedule and the format a little bit as well. Listening to the bowlers, some of our older competitors, perhaps the pace of play was a little too quick with 4 on a pair. So now with the new schedule, just 3 doubles and single squads. We've gone to 6 on a pair, so we've slowed the pace a little bit. We're providing fresh oil for every squad. So everybody starts out for team and doubles with the same lane condition. Certainly, equaling the playing field even more so. And the schedule's worked out fantastic. Some time built in for oil. And we're running smooth and everything well received. And, the whole total bowling experience here in Reno in 2013.
Yeah, and I think it's just great, especially having fresh. You take a lot of the ambiguity out of the tournament, and you take away I had a bad follow here, I had a good follow here. People aren't going to walk into a great pair that's set up, that had a really good team that worked very hard to set the lanes up in a very good manner for them. People aren't going to walk into that, and vice versa. People won't walk into a pair that, maybe the guys didn't work together so much and the pair wasn't set up as nice, and the lane conditions are going to be more challenging. So I think a lot of the ambiguity is taken away from the tournament. We're really going to see the cream rise to the top this year, and I think nobody could argue with anybody's credentials at the top of the leaderboard right now. I think everybody who's leading, you look at team event, it's Lodge Lanes 2, all those guys extremely deserving to be up there. Singles and all events with John Zerbinski right up there. The doubles, both those doubles groups, very talented bowlers there. So I don't think you can argue with anybody on top of the leaderboard right now, and I think that's a product of going to Fresh.
Well, this event, a work in progress. It is 110th this year in 2013. So always looking to make improvements and make the experience better all around for the bowlers, whether it be the look and feel of the event or significant changes like the format this year. So we're always listening. We're always doing our best to keep it fresh and modern, and of course the latest technologies here as well. And this year we call it kind of the festival of bowling a little bit, an extravaganza. So much happening inside the National Bowling Stadium. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of these guys downstairs later bowling in the 2-gamer. There's a daily payout at the 2-game challenge and a year-long portion as well. I saw Matt McNeil's name in the year-long standings this week when I made the update on Monday. But certainly 2 games. It's a quick hitter. You get in there and potentially, get in line for some of that prize money for the day, and
It's a great
end your
little
trip
warm-up,
on a high note.
Yeah, it's a great little warm up, and I bowled it. I think I bowled it twice, and second time around I did really well. I had 514, and I think I'm hanging on to the top 5. A lot of good bowlers coming down there and bowling on the pattern. I think 5. T.J. York from Nicholas J's leading with 530, but I got like $175 for being the daily leader. So I mean, it's great. Take advantage of it. I mean, that's some good money. So that's just a little extra money. Go out and buy a nice dinner for yourself, or maybe maybe take out the significant other, or go gamble, or do something. But money in your pocket.
So Matt, while we're sitting here, we're watching, and Robert Wiley's been quietly putting together a pretty solid single set. Got 224 and 248, and possible 269 here in game number 3. So he's kind of at least to us, the lesser known of the group, and name-wise, and not as much on his resume, at least on a national perspective, and he's making some waves here in game 3 of singles.
Yeah, he can get to 741, I believe. Now that's a very nice casher in singles. So definitely like to see that check in the mail come August.
All right, so as these guys get done, we'll do some quick calculations. We know they don't have enough to get to the team all events lead, but they're going to have some solid all event sets for sure.
Oh, certainly. And I think the biggest thing to really keep in perspective at this tournament is the amount of good shots you made. If you had some clean sets, and then especially if you get over that 2,000 marker, I think is really an accomplishment, regardless of the scoring piece. If it's a harder scoring year, more kudos to you. Even if it seems to be a higher scoring year, 2,000 is still a very sizable number, and any bowler should be extremely proud just making it to that point. So a lot of these guys are going to be in the 2,000 range. Give or take. Rose grinded out. I mean, here's Rose. Just, I mean, he's a true tournament bowler. Grinded. 229, 228, 225. And may not seem like a big game, but that gives him 680, and that's a good cash in singles, and and that'll win some bracket money. So be patient, diligent, make good shots. Barta lining him up for, he can shoot 266. Gotchall's really bending the lane now. Really covering some boards. Nice pitch. Just such a beautiful game. Effortless arm swing. Creates so much power. Barta's going to fall short, so he'll be at 255. 254. No, 255. So he'll wrap up. With a 670. Yeah, he'll be in the 670, 680 range. Looks like Rob's going to wrap a 10. He'll be a small 6, 620. And wait for Wally to finish up. Rob Wiley, big 7. 741 possible if he can finish it out here, last 3. Very smooth, nice straight arm swing. Oh, tough break. Maybe just a little, maybe just got through that one a little bit. Ball got down the lane just a little too far before it read up. He'll be in the 720s, 7-1. That's a good single set.
All right, Matt, quick rundown while we have this opportunity. Scott Pohl, 1986. Adam Barta, 1919. Gotchall, 2047. Mike Rose Jr., 1924. Of course, all unofficial at this time. We'll have Wallachek's score added in here in just a minute. We'll get you a team all events total. And had some potential from Matt Smith and the guys. Gordon Kilpatrick on his team as well. Kilpatrick had 675 in team event. And obviously the big single set made a run at it. So we'll take a look. Possibly not enough for regular all events, but 2 solid performances. Maybe a good team all events number. We'll have that for you and more. All on Pohl.com. Certainly check out the Open Championships page. You can find out all the latest news, standings, notes, pictures, blogs, you name it. It's all there. Future live streaming schedule, webcams. There's 3 video cameras in the building right now, and some point-and-click cameras as well. So you'll never miss a minute of the action. And if you're out and about and you want to check out the live scoring, certainly X-Bowling, also a possibility. And Robert Wiley finishes with 719.
That's a nice set. I actually, Matthew Smith and those gentlemen, I did a team lesson with those guys just before they took the lanes last night. They had a really nice set last night. They worked hard and bowled well, and it looked like the game plan we helped everybody develop worked pretty good. And I actually worked. What was the gentleman's name? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. The gentleman who was giving all events a run there.
Singles was Gordon Kilpatrick.
Yep. Yeah, we actually worked with Gordon's equipment and surfaces just a titch when I was doing some one-on-one among the team guys. So really glad to hear that he found some good success today and really got in a good rhythm and had a great day on the lanes. So kudos to those guys, and just shows there's a little proof in the pudding there in my coaching abilities, and very glad to see all the people who work with me having some good positive results.
All right, well, Matt, these guys are going to say goodbye, and we're going to say goodbye in just a minute as well. 9906, the unofficial team all events number for Team NAB rankings. Adam Barta, Scott Pohl, Brian Wallachek, Mike Rose Jr., and Rob Gotchall. So Pohl finishes things off, 1986, Barta, 1919, Gotchall, 2047, Mike Rose, 1924, and Brian Wallachek, bloody Brian Wallachek, 2030. Here, 9906 unofficial, and Robert Wiley, their 6th guy today, 1946 all events. So a solid effort all around, and that is that. So the National Bowling Stadium growing quiet, nothing but lane machines and lane monitors now for the next few minutes, and the 3 o'clock team squad will be right out. So we're going to pack up and get out of the way. Scott Pohl stopping by to say hello, and that is going to do it from the National Bowling Stadium today. Matt Canizaro and Matt McNeil will be back with you again, except next time Matt will be on the other side of the cameras.
I know, how about that?
Middle of the night, May 1st. Check it out, Bowl TV. Schedule is on Bowl.com as well. And that's going to do it. So that is the news from now, and we'll see you on the lanes.